Oh boy. Listen, I can't believe. I knew he was going to win. I knew Trump was going to win. But I didn't know this was going to be a landslide. I didn't know this was going to be a sweep, a complete sweep. I mean, Jesus Christ, they got the House and the Senate. I mean, have I ever seen a Republican win the popular vote before? Like, this is unprecedented. Like, this is, I've never seen anything like this before. Not in my lifetime, at least. But we got to do it. We got to look at the libs. We got to see their tears. We got to look at MSNBC, CNN. We got to go to TikTok. We got to look at this. We got to see these people cry, moan, whine, and cry. We got to. So without further ado, let's check this out.
Not the elite that's got to pay the price. It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare.
Obviously, Democrats are going to be looking at this very closely about what it was why they didn't deliver.
Yeah, well, and we talked a bit about that. We should, we heard a discussion about what it was. We should talk about what it wasn't. It may have been a mandate for some of the policies around economy and immigration. There'll be battles over some aspects of that and the wisdom of some of it. But certainly he should feel like he's been affirmed on that. It wasn't a mandate to wantonly use the power of the presidency to punish his political enemies. It wasn't a mandate to help enrich himself and his friends. It wasn't a mandate to single out groups in our society for scorn or worse. I'd love to hear from Van on this, but let's be honest about this, okay? Let's be absolutely blunt about it. There were appeals to racism in this campaign, and there is racial bias in this country, and there is sexism in this country. And anybody who thinks that did not in any way impact on the outcome of this race is wrong.
For real? Is that what you're going with? Racism, sexism? Is that it? Is that is that what you're going with? oh, oh my God.
Donald Trump won the 2024 presidential election. And I know that many people will want me to solely blame Kamala Harris's campaign strategy or the Democrats as a party. But frankly, you cannot convince me that a nation of people who cannot be convinced not to vote for a white supremacist, promising to destroy their rights, every marginalized community, and their entire democracy is without blame, that they are not responsible for their choices and the consequences that will follow. I want to make this brief because, frankly, it's clear to me that I have been wasting my breath trying to warn Americans of the dangers of a Trump administration because Trump himself told them what those dangers were. He didn't run on policy. He didn't promise to build anything. Instead, he promised to tear this nation apart, to break things down. He openly promised us police violence, total police immunity, not only the deportation and abuse of undocumented immigrants, but to reverse naturalization for immigrants who became U.S. citizens already. He promised to ban abortion nationwide, to dismantle the EPA, the Department of Education. He promised to ban our history, to ban books, to keep the American public even dumber than apparently more than 64 million Americans already are, because the majority of this country's voters voted for him. Understand this. Donald Trump did not just win the Electoral College, he won the popular vote. And I would argue he won it by a landslide. For years, I have listened to Americans insist that Hillary Clinton is to blame for losing the 2016 election to Donald Trump, that she was too unlikable, that she called Trump voters deplorables, that she didn't campaign enough in the swing states.
Yeah.
And for years, I have thought how ridiculous a nation must be to insist it made perfect sense to elect a white supremacist, sexist, xenophobic, racist, stupid ass bigot who told us exactly who he was because the woman he ran against wasn't likable enough, that she didn't campaign hard enough. All the while, I have thought that if it's an uphill battle for anyone to beat a white supremacist, they are far more qualified than, for any reason, it is an indictment on the nation. But that's never what I.
This is crazy. Man, this chick is losing it. Listen. All the things she said, none of it is true. But I mean, is really. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see these people squirm. I'm really excited to. I love this. I love watching this.
It was pretty red
Yeah.
last night.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed.
The view.
I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their
It's so
Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States. I think that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States, then you should not be prevented from employment in this country. Because I remember applying for my jobs as a federal prosecutor, and there was a box for convicted felons.
Well,
And so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk. I think
no fluoride for anyone.
yeah, economists have made clear that he's going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps. And I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning Americans to prepare for temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it.
Listen. This is a historic moment. Not because Trump won, but because, I mean, this year, when they were talking about the red wave, I didn't just see it as an American thing. I see it something that is global. And I don't mean that, the red wave meaning Republican. I mean people going back to conservatism. This is a conservatism wave globally. Look at Europe. The right wing are sweeping up everything. America was just the last cherry on top. I mean, Canada, Trudeau, he's a lost cause. I mean, Canada is a lost cause, but, well, I wouldn't say that, but America was just the cherry on the top. There has been a tsunami of people rejecting the woke left, rejecting progressivism, rejecting liberalism, rejecting all this stuff, the ideology, the left ideology, Marxism, LGBT, all of it. People are rejecting it. People want normalcy. The left, they forget to think that people, that when you leave America, when you leave the West, majority of the world are conservative. The Latinos that they are pining for, that they thought they had in the bag, conservative, 45%, 51% of white women, the women that we are trying to court, because using abortion. 51% voted for Trump. They forget that women, actual married women, they vote conservative. They didn't. Why didn't they think about that? Majority of women that are married vote conservative. Be it white, Latino, black, whatever. When they are married, they go conservative. They weren't thinking about that. They think, oh, we have women in the bag because, abortion, reproductive right. I mean, they hide, calling it reproductive, but we all know what it is. I know what it is. Everybody knows what it is. Kamala ran. The lady ran on reproductive. Who cares about that? Who cares? And the women that you are dependent on is just like Hollywood. When they make all these woke, strong, independent women that need no man, when they make all these movies expecting to court the ladies, to bring the ladies to the theaters, and then the ladies don't show up, the men don't show up, the movie bombs, and now they're confused. That is exactly what happened here. She ran on abortion thinking that she was going to get 90% of the women. That never happened. That doesn't happen. These people are so deluded, clueless. They live in their bubble. They don't even understand what the hell is going on. As much as half of the women in this country are pro-choice, what do you think the other half are thinking? This is incredible. The map, when you see the demographic map, that map represents a rejection. This entire election is a rejection of the Democrat and their policies. It's a rejection of this liberal ideology. It's a rejection of LGBT. It's a rejection of all this Marxist CRT garbage that they teach in school. It's a rejection of all of it. People have said, we do not want this. We don't want it in our schools. We don't want it in our entertainment. We don't want it in our politics. We just don't want it. The Latino that you were trying to call and say, oh, immigration, mass deportation. Some of them come here legally and they vote for Trump. Some of them come here legally and they are conservative, have family values, don't believe in having abortions. Yes, we know you guys got the black vote in the bag. I don't even understand. 73% of women voted. Yeah, I mean, of men vote. I don't even understand how that happened. But at least he made inroads. He made gains of 27% of men. That is something. That is the most any Republican I've gotten, Men are rejected. Men stood up. Whatever it is that Trump, whoever advised him to talk to men, go to the men, like use the men approach. Talk to men, go to where men are. Embrace masculinity. Whoever advised him to do that, like, man, I swear to God, whoever did that, like, he should be knighted. Because this man, Trump, his strategy was clear. I'm going to talk to men. Women, they've been sold on abortion. I'm going to talk to men. And then the men, their wife would follow. That's what I think happened. I'm going to go where men are, talk about their grievances, talk about what they're thinking about, come to their level. He goes on podcasts, Joe Rogan. For the most part, they weren't even talking about politics. They were just talking about random stuff. People got to see who Trump was. They were just talking about random stuff. When he goes on podcasts, they were just talking about random stuff. You get to see who Trump is. With Harris, you don't even know what the hell she stands on. You don't even know who the hell she is. 10 years ago, nobody knew who this woman was. Men won this. Men. I'm talking about men won this for Trump. The Dems, they weren't expecting it. because they know that majority of women always come out to vote. Majority of women always turn out for them. Not this time around. Men stepped in and said, enough of this. Enough of this. We are sick of it. We are sick of being demonized. We are sick of being called predators. We are sick of being called toxic. We are sick of it. We are sick of being demeaned, made fun of, disrespected in every which way. We are just sick of it. I know I am. This wasn't just a win. I call it a rejection of the left. I call it a rejection of the Democratic Party with their policies. This is a complete rejection. And this wave has gone through the entire globe. Look at Europe, look at France, look at Italy, look at Germany. This is the right wing. It's not just in America. They are winning everywhere. And America has just turned, and the Republicans have just turned America into a red country. I mean, look at that map. It was just red all over the place. Red. I don't even understand how they thought that Harris was going to even try to... How did they think that Hillary didn't win? She was a woman. And they're going to try the second time to put a woman in there. I know that the Democrats, they're not going to do this experiment anymore. Let's bring out the chicks. Let's bring out a woman for president. They're not going to do it anymore. I know, at least in my lifetime, I'm never going to see a woman running for president. The Democrats have done it twice. It's been done. It didn't work. They're not doing it anymore. The Republican, I'm not sure they're going to try that because they can't be that stupid to try because it's not going to work. It would never work. But this election just showed that women don't run this country. Women don't create policies. Just because you guys vote more doesn't mean you control what happens. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm happy. I'm excited. I hope you all are. And let's keep reacting to the liberal squirm and moan and scream and point fingers at each other. I'm gonna do a part 2 of my reaction. There are plenty of I'm gonna go to TikTok and then see what the hell they're doing. But anyway, that's all I got. If you like this video, please hit that like button, hit the share button. Leave your comments down below. I would really love to read them. And if you may, please subscribe. You have a good one.